Okay, so picture this. It's, I don't know, a Tuesday morning. You're maybe 3 cups of coffee deep. You've just spent hours, maybe even days, crafting this absolute masterpiece.
The perfect blog post.
The perfect blog post or campaign email. The logic is sound. The jokes are actually funny. It covers everything. You take a deep breath. You hit publish. You sit back and you wait.
You wait for the magic to happen, the likes, the shares.
And instead, crickets.
Yeah.
Just an absolute void. Or even worse, the nightmare scenario, you check your analytics and see a spike in unsubscribes.
Ugh, the dreaded negative ROI on your effort. It's just painful.
It is so painful, and it's confusing.
Right.
Because you tried so hard. You know the product is good. So the question we're really wrestling with today is, why? Why does well-intentioned, high-effort marketing sometimes just completely fall flat?
That's the million-dollar question, right? It keeps marketing VPs awake at night. And usually when that happens, it's not because the product is bad. It's not even that the core idea is bad. It's usually because of what we could call silent killers.
Silent killers. It sounds a little bit like a true crime doc, but I like the drama.
Well, it is dramatic, but it's also pretty accurate. These are these subtle, almost psychological mistakes that can derail a strategy before it even gets a chance to work.
Well, to help us solve this little mystery, we're doing a deep dive today. We're looking at a breakdown from the team at Stellapop. And they've identified what they call the 3 hidden threats to your marketing success. What I really appreciate about this analysis is that it moves past the basics. We aren't talking about posting at the wrong time of day.
Right, or using the wrong hashtags. This is deeper. It gets into the psychology of your audience. It's really about trust mechanics, readability, cognitive load.
And emotional connection, exactly.
Yep.
So our mission today is pretty simple. We're going to identify these 3 silent killers so you can stop doing them, like right now.
And then the important part.
The important part. We're going to extract the specific fixes you need to turn those casual readers into actual loyal brand advocates.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, let's unpack this. Threat number 1. Stellapop calls this one the trust killer.
This is foundational. I mean, you get this wrong, and honestly, nothing else you do is going to matter.
They use the term unexpected self-promotion, but the phrase they use to describe it is a bait and switch.
Right. And that phrasing is really, really important. Think about the psychology of a bait and switch. Think about the implicit contract you make with a reader when they click a headline.
The implicit contract. I like that framing. So if I click on a headline that says, how to fix a leaky faucet, what's the contract?
The contract is that you are going to teach me, the reader, how to fix my faucet. I'm in information gathering mode. I have a problem, and I'm trusting that you have the solution.
Right. I'm looking for a tutorial, not a checkout page.
Exactly. So what happens in your brain if you get like 3 sentences in and suddenly the content pivots hard into buy our patented Super Wrench 3000?
Oh, I feel tricked. The wall goes up immediately.
You feel tricked. And that breaks the trust. That is the core issue here. The source really emphasizes that content marketing thrives on a value exchange. You give me valuable information, I give you my time and my attention.
But when you pack it with overbearing self-promotion, you're not just being annoying.
No, you're effectively devaluing your own content.
It turns a resource into just another advertisement.
Precisely. And in a world where we are just bombarded with thousands of ads, 247, readers have a very, very sophisticated radar for this. If they sense an ulterior motive, they bounce. They're gone.
The source actually uses a specific word to describe how this feels to the audience. And it made me laugh because it's just so accurate. They say it feels ick.
The ick factor. It's not a scientific term, but we all know what it means.
It's totally visceral. It's that feeling of, oh, you don't actually care about my problem. You just want my wallet.
And once you trigger the ick, the relationship is damaged. You might get a sale once if they're desperate, but you will not get their loyalty.
Okay, so let's play devil's advocate for a second. We are in business. We do have to sell things. Are we just never supposed to mention our products?
No, not at all. That would be a dangerous overcorrection. You're not running a charity. But it's all about priority and hierarchy. The solution Stellapop offers is value first.
I value first.
You have to prioritize solving the problem or answering the question above the sale.
Okay, I get that in theory. But how do we actually bridge that gap? Because eventually I do want them to know that I sell really great wrenches.
And this is where it gets interesting. They talk about the concept of the subtle CPA or call to action.
Now, subtle can sometimes mean hidden, and that feels deceptive too. How do we define subtle here?
Subtle in this context just means contextually appropriate. It means placing your CTAs naturally so they enhance the experience instead of disrupting it.
So instead of a big flashing neon sign that says BUYNW, it's more like, what?
Think of it as secondary placement. So go back to the leaky faucet example. You give the full tutorial. You actually help them fix it. And then maybe in a little box that says tools you might need, you mention your wrench.
I see. So the product becomes a tool to help achieve the goal, not the goal itself.
Exactly. You are being a helpful guide first and a salesperson second. And that preserves the trust.
That's a great way to put it. It's like product placement in a movie versus a loud commercial break. One keeps you in the story.
And the other stops the story cold. That is a perfect analogy. If your product fits the narrative, it enhances the experience. If it stops the show, you lose your audience.
It's all about respect, really. Respecting the reader's time. Okay, let's move to the second threat. This one hit home for me because I am definitely guilty of skimming.
We all are. We live in the age of skimming.
This one is the accessibility killer, or as the source puts it, turning readers away with confusing content.
This is such a tragedy, honestly, because you can have the most brilliant, life-changing advice, but if your formatting is a nightmare, nobody is ever going to read it.
It's like serving a Michelin star meal on a dirty trash can lid. Presentation matters.
That is a very vivid image, but yes, exactly. The source notes that if content isn't visually inviting, it really doesn't stand a chance. And we have to look at this through the lens of cognitive load.
Break that down for us. Cognitive load.
It's essentially the amount of mental effort required. When a reader lands on your page, their brain makes a split-second calculation. How much energy is this going to take to consume?
And if the answer is too much, they're gone.
Instantly. Now, here is where it gets really interesting. The source drops a very specific rule of thumb for reading level. Do you remember what it was?
I do. The third grade rule.
Third grade.
And I could just hear some of our listeners bristling at that. Third grade, my audience has PhDs. I can't write for a third grader.
And that is such a common misconception. We aren't talking about the sophistication of the ideas. We are talking about the complexity of the delivery. The source is clear. Content should be comfortable at a third grade reading level for simplicity.
So we're not dumbing down the concept, we're simplifying the syntax.
Exactly. You can explain quantum physics using short sentences and a clear structure. Or you could explain how to tie a shoe using convoluted academic jargon. The third grade rule is a check on accessibility, not on intelligence.
It's because our brains are just tired.
Our brains are tired. If I have to reread your sentence 3 times just to understand it, I'm leaving.
Okay, so let's look at the signs of failure. What does bad actually look like?
The biggest offender, hands down, is dense text. Just huge paragraphs with no breaks.
The wall of text.
The wall of text, it is so visually overwhelming. Another sign is a lack of structure. No subheadings, no lists. It just leaves the reader lost.
And the third one they mentioned is jargon.
Ugh, the curse of knowledge. Just overusing industry-specific terms that alienate anyone who isn't already an expert. It might make you feel smart when you're writing it, but it makes the reader feel excluded.
Okay, so let's get practical. The source gives a great checklist for making content more skimmable. How do we fix that wall of text?
You break it up. It sounds simple, but it is so effective. Use bullet points. Use short paragraphs.
They actually give a specific number for the paragraphs, don't they?
They do. They say if a paragraph is longer than 3 or 4 sentences, just break it up.
That feels incredibly short when you're typing it out in a document.
It does, but then you have to remember to pull that up on a mobile screen. That's a full screen of text on a phone.
That is great visualization. We write on laptops, but the world reads on phones.
Absolutely. And that leads to the next fix. Optimize for the skimmers. Use bold text. Use pull quotes. Make it so that someone can scroll through and still get the main idea.
I always think of subheadings as being like the menu for the article.
They are. They let the reader scan and decide, yes, this section is for me. If you don't have them, you're asking the reader to hunt for the value. And they will not hunt.
So we fixed our trust issues. We fixed our formatting. Now we have to actually talk about the writing itself. Threat number 3 is the engagement killer.
Or weak descriptive writing.
This one feels a little tricky because I think a lot of people assume their writing is fine. But the source warns that vague writing makes a brand voice seem unoriginal or just out of touch.
Yeah, their rating was 10/10 do not recommend, which is harsh, but fair. But let's connect this to the bigger picture. Why does descriptive writing even matter? It's not about sounding poetic.
No, it's about connection.
It is about emotional connection. And at the end of the day, humans, even B2B buyers, make decisions based on emotion, and then they justify it with logic.
So if I can't make them feel something, I can't make them buy something.
Exactly. Vivid language drives action because it helps readers visualize the benefits.
Yeah, if I just say, this is a great product, or we offer an innovative solution, that means absolutely nothing.
Innovative is a filler word. Great is generic. They don't capture attention because they don't create a picture in your mind.
So how do we fix it? The source gives us some specific techniques. The first one is a classic, show, don't tell.
But applied to marketing. So the example they give is fantastic. Instead of saying your service is fast, which is telling you, describe the exact time savings.
Right. So our service is fast becomes save 10 hours of data entry every single week.
Boom. I can visualize that. I can feel the relief of getting those 10 hours back. That's my Saturday back. That's the difference.
It totally changes the energy of the sentence.
It does. And that connects to the second technique they mention, active voice.
Using strong verbs.
Strong verbs make writing dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Passive voice just feels distant and weak. You know, mistakes were made. Sounds evasive. We made a mistake. Sounds accountable.
And the final tip they give here is just to be specific.
Specificity breeds credibility. Specific details make your readers feel seen and understood.
Can you give us a quick example? Vague versus specific.
Sure. Vague would be, we help businesses grow. Okay. Specific is, we help SaaS companies increase their monthly recurring revenue by 20% in 6 months.
Wow. Yeah. The specific version makes me think, okay, they have a system. They've done this before. The vague version sounds like a bad horoscope.
Exactly. You will encounter a challenge today. It applies to everyone, which means it really applies to no one.
Okay, so those are the three big threats. The trust killer, the accessibility killer, and the engagement killer. If we just stop doing those things, we're at least halfway there.
We've stopped the bleeding for sure.
We've stopped the bleeding, but now we want to thrive. The source doesn't just leave us with a list of don'ts. It transitions into 5 strategic pillars for creating content that, and I love this phrasing, content that really slaps.
Slaps. I believe the kids say that means it's excellent.
It means it hits hard. It resonates. So let's just run through these 5 pillars because this is really the roadmap to success. Pillar number 1, understand your audience.
This sounds like marketing 101, but so many people just skip the deep work here. It's not just demographics. It's not male 25-40.
It's psychographics.
Right. What keeps them awake at night? What are they afraid of losing? What does success look like to them specifically? You have to tailor your tone and your style to that person.
So if you're writing for a burnt-out IT manager, your tone is maybe more commiserating and efficient.
But if you're writing for a lifestyle vlogger, the tone is high energy and visual. You can't resonate if you aren't on their frequency.
Pillar number 2, be consistent.
This is the hard one. This is the unsexy truth of content marketing.
It is. Everybody wants that one viral hit.
But the source really emphasizes that content is the long game. Consistency builds what you could call brand memory. If you post once and then you're gone for 6 months, you're signaling that you're unreliable.
You're a flake. Nobody trusts a flake.
Exactly. You just have to show up.
Pillar number 3, leverage storytelling.
This connects all the way back to that idea that people buy a brand, not necessarily the product.
We hear storytelling thrown around so much. What does it actually mean here? Are we writing a novel?
No, not at all. It just means framing your customer as the hero of the story. It means using a narrative structure, problem, struggle, resolution, to explain your value.
Because facts fade, but stories stick.
That's it. If I give you a list of product specs, you'll forget them in 10 minutes. But if I tell you a story about how those specs saved a client from a total disaster, you'll remember the disaster and the save. It anchors the information.
Pillar number 4, optimize for SEO.
Now, you have to be careful here. This does not mean stuff keywords into every sentence until it sounds like a robot wrote it.
Which brings us right back to being an engagement killer.
Exactly. Modern SEO isn't about tricking Google. It's about understanding user intent. It's about answering the questions people are actually asking.
So it's about being found when people are actually looking for help.
That's all it is. If you write the best, most helpful answer to a specific question, Google will reward you. And your audience will find you. SEO today is just being really, really helpful.
And finally, pillar number 5, test and iterate.
Data is king.
But which data? Because vanity metrics can be so misleading.
They really can. 1 million views means nothing if everyone bounced after 3 seconds.
Yeah.
You need to look at engagement metrics, time on page, scroll depth, conversions.
And you have to be willing to look at the numbers and just admit when something didn't work.
It takes the ego out of it. It's not about what you think is good content. It's about what the audience actually responds to.
It's a feedback loop. You publish, you measure, you learn, and you improve.
And if you do that consistently over time, you start guessing and you start knowing.
So we've covered a ton of ground here. We've gone from the ick of self-promotion to the science of readability and all the way to the art of storytelling.
It really is a comprehensive framework.
It is. So when you look at this whole picture, from the silent killers to the strategic pillars, what do you think is the core philosophy that holds it all together?
I think the source sums it up perfectly near the end. They say, content marketing isn't just about publishing, it's about connecting.
Connecting.
That's the North Star. If you are just publishing, you are adding to the noise. If you are connecting, you are building a real asset for your business.
And nobody needs more noise. We are all drowning in noise.
Exactly. So to recap the big threats, don't be a salesperson in disguise. That's the trust killer.
Check.
Don't write intimidating walls of text. That's the accessibility killer.
Check.
And please, don't be boring or vague. That's the engagement killer.
It sounds so simple when you put it like that, but it really does take discipline.
It does. It takes slowing down. I think we're often in such a rush to get content out that we just skip the basic quality control.
Which brings us to the final takeaway. The source leaves us with a set of self-reflective questions. It's like a little pre-flight checklist to run through before you hit publish.
Every single content creator should have these sticky noted to their monitor.
I completely agree. 3 simple questions. Question 1, am I providing value?
So crucial. Not am I selling something, but am I giving something?
Question 2, is this easy to read?
Be honest with yourself. Is it a wall of text? Is it full of jargon?
And finally, question 3, will audiences feel connected?
Does it have a real voice? Does it have empathy? And if the answer to any of those questions is no, then don't hit publish.
Start over.
Start over. It's harsh, but it's necessary. It saves you from the silence. It saves you from the crickets.
Absolutely. You know, it's interesting. We talk so much about algorithms and SEO and all these tricks, but at the end of the day, it just comes back to being human.
It always does.
Being helpful, being clear, and being interesting.
That really is the secret sauce.
Well, there you have it. The silent killers have been identified, and now you have the weapons to fight back. I want to thank the team at StellaPop for this breakdown. Some really actionable stuff in there.
Indeed. It forces you to look in the mirror a little bit.
It definitely does. I'm thinking about my last few emails and cringing.
We're all works in progress.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive. Hopefully, your next piece of content won't just get read, it'll actually resonate.
And maybe even slap.
And maybe even slap. Until next time.